Hey guys, it's been a while. Man, I was gonna upload part one of that interview with the girl. It's the first part was actually a lot more. I feel like there's a lot more black pill points that were like critical, and I was being a bit more, strict in my responses. And yeah, she had difficulty talking after a certain point because I was kind of like shutting down her perspective so much. So I'm gonna upload that soon. I wanted to talk about finances and how increasing my income has affected my dating life. And I also want to talk about ways that people can make money. So this is going to be about finances from a guy who is not an expert, but a guy who, put a bit of time into it and researched it. But anyways, now, first things first. I think for anyone who's trying to get their income up, one of the best things you could look into is stuff in e-commerce. Either trying to create your own product, selling something on Amazon. Selling on Amazon is very competitive at this point. It's very saturated. There's a lot of sellers. I made it work because there's a lot of models. There's a lot of ways you can make it work. There's a lot of ways that don't work. So when you get into Amazon, realize there's several different models. You could purchase from wholesalers and resell items. You could purchase something from, Asia, like AliExpress or Alibaba. You could rebrand it. So put your brand name on it, and you could white label it, etc., and have it shipped to America and then sell that product. You can do arbitrage, arbitrage is really interesting. Especially there's a model where like certain products on Amazon go out of stock, and then just because they're out of stock on Amazon doesn't mean that they're out of stock on the brand's website. So you can, let's say you list on Amazon that you have 10 units, and then people purchase them from you, and then you purchase them from the brand website, and you have it sent to you, and you have it sent to your customer. So that's another model that actually works really well. It's called online arbitrage. But anyways, there's Amazon's one. There's also the affiliate marketing situation, but you generally need social media. You have to kind of gain in popularity in social media and have like a channel where people can use your link to purchase products. There's also creating your own product, your own website, and white labeling it, which is putting your brand name on it, and then selling that product. But what you got to do at that point is make the website look very nice, make the ads look very nice. You use social media advertising, etc. And the quality of your site and your ads are almost as important as the actual product. So there's a company, I forget the name, but they're selling I think it's clay pans, and clay pans are pretty, they're not like an extraordinary product. They've been around for a long time, but the way that they're marketing it and the way that they're angling it, it's called angling. They're showing all these unique qualities to it. They're saying like non-toxic. They're saying non-stick, easy to clean. They're trying to make it as attractive of a product as possible. And they're buying this product for like $5-6, and they're selling it for like $80. And they're advertising it. They're probably spending maybe like $15 per sale on advertising, probably. And over time it brings organic traffic. Organic traffic is like, there's paid traffic, which is like you're using advertisements. You're using advertisements on social media. TikTok is a big one right now, but TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you're paying to advertise there. But organic is, let's say you make a Instagram channel or an Instagram page that's based on your brand. So let's say your brand is called Brickle, right? And you sell bricks, just for example, right? And your company's called Brickle. You have your Instagram page called Brickle, and all the images are related to the product. It's basically a brand Instagram. And then you do the same thing with TikTok, you do the same thing with Facebook, you do the same thing with Instagram. And basically, people will start seeing this, and over time, people will use the product. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll come and also buy it, purchase it again over time, and you'll start bringing organic traffic. So you won't have to pay for that traffic because people will be going to your link from your social media. You'll gain followers, etc. It takes time, but I've seen some crazy numbers of people who do that. I've seen numbers that go over 1 million in a month of people who do stuff who do e-commerce in that sort of way. But I would say becoming very good in e-commerce is probably one of the best things you could do right now to just the possibility of becoming successful and the doors that it opens, the financial abundance that could come to you, is pretty amazing. So I would say definitely educate yourself on e-commerce related things the best you can. I think it's probably one of the best ideas right now. I mean, certain websites, you could go to you could if you look up SimilarWeb, there's a website that you can learn about how much certain websites are making, certain e-commerce websites. For instance, if you go to JVN is a skincare or like a women's cosmetic beauty company. And if you go to the JVN website and then you copy the link and then post it on SimilarWeb, SimilarWeb can show you what that company is making per month, or they can show you how many visits they're getting per month. And a lot of the times these websites, they're making several millions a month. So, what they're probably doing is they're having third-party shipping centers around America or around the world even, and they're housing their inventory at these warehouses, and then people come and purchase from their website, and then the third-party fulfillment service, the warehouse, will send the customer the product. So they're sitting back, sipping tea while this stuff is occurring, and these companies are handling that stuff. And they basically, the people, I mean, it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work. But what I'm saying is that, you could put in 10 hours or 8 hours a day of work that can make you several millions a month, or you could put 8 hours a day into a job, that has a fixed income, etc. Now, keep in mind, most people who create businesses, etc., in e-commerce do not succeed. Most people do not. There's for several reasons: luck, character qualities, intelligence, bad decision making, being slow, etc. A lot of people fail in it. I mean, but a lot of people do succeed in it as well. There's obviously more failures than successful people, but I think you'll never know unless you try. I think the benefits of being, I think the benefits are worth trying for, But anyways, I think education is probably the most important step. A lot of times people in life, they go towards goals or some sort of project without educating themselves ahead of time. And what you want is a map of the territory you're entering, right? So e-commerce, you want a map in your mind of what the e-commerce field is. So you want to know it very well. The more knowledge you have, the better you can traverse the jungle of e-commerce. So let's say there's a gold treasure chest somewhere in the jungle. If you have a map of that jungle, you'll much better be able to find that treasure chest than if you just went in, wandering around. So that's why I always say educate yourself ahead of time the best you can. But anyways, guys, I think finances is a huge part about becoming successful with women and also having a good life. Okay, I think money is a bit underrated in how much better it can make your life. It really can. It depends on what you do with the money you make, though. Okay, so the whole reason you make money it should be to improve your life, to live a better lifestyle. A lot of people make their aim in life, becoming a billionaire, and they're working all the time. They're putting a ton of effort and they're sweating all the time trying to make it. when you got to realize, your life is, the average lifespan is around 70 years, and you're wasting a lot of time, a lot of your prime years on being miserable, trying to attain a huge $1 billion, income or payment. And I think it's important to, realize you don't need, like, having $1 billion versus having, 5 million a year. It doesn't make that big of a difference in your life. I really don't think it really makes that big of a difference. Okay. You could live just as good of a life with both. But, when you're going above, I think the science stated that I think it's 80,000 a year doesn't make that big of a difference. The person who's making $1 million a year versus a person who's making 80,000 a year, I think it said, or it's 180. There's a study that indicated that both of their happiness was about the same for both individuals. So I would say try to make sure you put your lifestyle and the way you live as your number one priority. And, money is a big part of that, living a good life. Okay. So it's a huge part of it. Just as, social relationships, women, health, these are huge parts about having a good life. And, I'm excited about life right now. I'm black-pilled, but I'm very excited about life and what can happen. And I have a lot of dreams. I'm excited about traveling, going places, meeting new people, becoming successful, becoming wealthy, getting a nice house, etc. I'm excited about these things. I'm working towards them. Black pill for me was never a reason to give up on life. For me, it was an educational opportunity. And I think that's how you guys should look at it. The more you understand reality, the better you can traverse through the jungle of reality. Okay, so that's what I would say. And yes, I'll say another thing. Make sure when you're going towards financial wealth, never sacrifice your health in order to get that. Always make sure your health is the number one priority in your life. Okay? A bit of pointers on health. In order to be healthy, you want to mimic, generally speaking, the lifestyle of our hunter-gatherer ancestors, the people that were, 100,000 years ago. What were they doing? Our biology is adapted and designed for that sort of lifestyle and environment. So we do know that our hunter-gatherer ancestors got a lot of sunlight. They would walk a lot. They would eat primarily meat. We would be carnivores, hyper carnivores, actually. We didn't really eat vegetables unless there was times of starvation. We didn't really eat fruits because fruits weren't around all year. So they're only in season a specific time period of the year. So fruit was never a large part of the human diet ever. So we used to have our feet on the ground. There's even something called grounding, which is, when you have your bare feet on the ground, there's some sort of electric current that connects from the earth to your body. And there's a lot of health benefits to going out into a yard barefoot. We used to, what else? And you want to make sure you avoid the things that are really bad for us, like, sugary foods high in carbohydrates, processed foods, anything that comes boxed or bagged, etc. What else? One other thing that's very good for humans is high intensity interval training. There's actually a huge correlation between high intensity interval training exercises and workouts and IQ. It's funny. I just did a high intensity interval training workout just now, and I feel my brain is actually functioning better. So high intensity interval training is correlated with better mental capabilities. It increases IQ, which is amazing. What else? We would stay hydrated. Definitely drink water. Make sure you're hydrated. You should be drinking a lot more water than we normally do in society. But especially when you're on the carnivore diet, because you're not really having vegetation, so you're not vegetation comes with its own amount of hydration in it. Water is in vegetables, so when you remove that, you have to drink more water as a result. We used to have sex, so definitely try to form relationships with women, etc., the best you can, because that's a very important part of your health as well. Working out is very important. So it's sunlight. It's very simple, really. Sunlight, exercise, carnivore diet, grounding, and I think there's one more. I think that's about it. I think that's all about it. Those four things are, I'd say, like the foundation, and hydration. I don't know if I said that already, but hydration is very important. So those certain things are very critical. I think you guys can get a huge improvements in your health if you do those few things that I just mentioned. I've studied health for a long time, and I've really researched it very much, and I've also experimented a lot, and I've even put people on my health, program, and they've improved their health a lot. Most people that I put on this health program, my recommendations, they change. They look a lot better. If you guys do this, I think you will get some great results. Remember, guys, my channel, I'm not looking to monetize this or anything. I do business. I make my money through business stuff. This is a completely, channel because I naturally want to help people, and I also feel like I have something to say. I feel like I have stuff to say. I gotta let my voice out. I'm saying a lot wrong with the world, and I want to express it. And maybe if people acknowledge it, things will change. Anyways. Also, guys, one thing that is underrated, your logistical scenario is so important. Okay, one of the worst things you could do is have an environment that makes you miserable. Living in an environment that makes you miserable. For example, one time, I'm a tanned guy. I'm kind of darker skinned, and I was for a week. I was in West Virginia with some sort of trip with this group for a school trip, etc. And we were in West Virginia, and we're walking around, and I noticed there's a in this specific neighborhood, it's pretty racist. I'm going to be honest. This specific neighborhood is racist, and basically we would in that environment, I was talking to women, and they were not. This is when I was quite young, and I was kind of fat back then. I wasn't attractive, but I wasn't getting treated nicely by a lot of the women. I wasn't getting treated a lot nicely by anyone, really. They were just kind of they weren't really nice to me, etc. But I would see that environment, and I was like, wow, I don't belong. I don't fit here at all. This is very awkward. My friends were they're my friends, so we were okay. But the people there, the locals and stuff, it was not comfortable. I one time did meet this girl, and I took her out to this cafe or whatever. And she was actually very pretty, but she was not from there. She wasn't from West Virginia. She was from Germany. And I walked with her into this cafe, and oh my God, man, she was probably one of the most attractive women in that area. She was meeting me more like a friend, though, right? So it was more like a friend vibe. I was not successful with women back then, etc. So she orders her coffee, I order mine, and it literally took them about 20 minutes to grab my coffee, to make my coffee. They were making us wait there until the German girl said, "Excuse me, are you going to make his coffee?" And then he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was pretended it was a mistake or something, but he was doing that. He was not happy about me dating a pretty blonde girl, right? As a brown guy. Sad but true. West Virginia is not exactly a high IQ part of America, so you're going to run into a lot of people like that. So I was there, and I noticed the environment was not good for me. And then I left that area, and I went to San Francisco after that. And it was completely different. I was really enjoying my time there. People were very nice to me. The women were nice to me. I was very happy there. Over in West Virginia, when I couldn't get. It was very rare for me to be able to get a girl, interested in even talking to me over there. Unless she wasn't from there. But when I was in San Francisco, boom, I was getting a lot of, I was getting a lot more interest from women, etc. Even though I wasn't at LooksMax or anything back then, but still, I was still treated like a human being over there, So your logistics scenario is very important. I would say that it's a big part of how happy you'll be in life. Another factor to look into is, if you are darker skinned, you probably are going to do better in a sunnier environment. You think about it, your ancestors probably were in the sun quite often. They were probably in very sunny areas. So your biology is designed for a sunny environment with probably a lot more vitamin D, a lot more ultraviolet light, which we now know that has huge effects on your health, massive effects on your health. So, and if you're very light skinned, maybe a place like Miami, Florida is not for you. Maybe it's not a good spot for you. Maybe it's unhealthy for you. Maybe it's too much sunlight. If you're pale white, most pale white people don't really like these areas. I noticed that. They're like, they don't want to go to the beach. I asked them, oh, you were in Miami. How was it? It's such a cool place. They usually don't tell me it was so great. So that's just FYI. Finances have a huge effect on a few things. They increase your confidence, and it's very subtle, but a lot of women can know when a guy is doing well in life. That women have a subconscious success radar. They can pick up on the signals. Right when I started getting financially better, and I had a different confidence about myself, and women did pick up on it. They did. I don't know how, but they did. They somehow knew I had money. They somehow knew. I didn't change how I dressed or anything. It was just the way I behaved. And then all of a sudden, I was getting a lot more women being like, yeah, randomly in the conversation, they were like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a job right now. They'd express that to me when before they never did that. They never talked to me about jobs or anything, because they're somehow pick up on the fact that I'm doing pretty well financially, etc. And so it does that. On top of that, it makes your life, how do I say, when you're on a date and you don't have to worry about finances, and you could do things like go to a nice restaurant or, travel, take her to some place that she likes, a city she likes. This makes you very attractive to women. Okay, just the ability to do that makes you a lot more of an asset to women. Anyways, guys, that's about it. I'm tired right now. I'm going to quit the talk. But let me know if you guys have any questions on this subject, and I'll get back to you. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not really in black pill mode anymore. If you guys listen to my older content, man, I was miserable back then. Do you know why? My logistics changed. I changed where I live. And I changed where I live, and I feel a lot better. Also, my health changed. My diet changed. Things like that changed. And I'm just feeling a lot better in life. A lot of times, the reason you feel the way you do is not because of one reason. A lot of people think that they're miserable because they can't find a girl. A lot of times, you're probably miserable, more likely because you're unhealthy. You're not getting sunlight. You're overweight. You're not exercising, etc. That could be a bigger factor in why someone's miserable than him not being able to get a date. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. All right, guys. All right, have a good day. All right, bye.